We'll do this. Hello, guys. Welcome to. Let's see if everything is working all right in the first place. Hold on. Give me a second. Yes. Can you hear? Can the panel say something? Can the
Oh
panel
yes.
say something? Can the
Oh
panel
yes.
say something? Okay, beautiful. Everything is working. We're gonna have some gameplay in the background, and I want to say welcome all to a new show called the Flemish Experience number 13. So we're 13 weeks in, and I want to say, yeah, sorry, we're an hour later. I had to do another show just before from Green Pass Gaming. So if you haven't seen that, you should watch that as well. It's a very well done show. Really great guys over there. So um, yeah, and now we're back to my show. So back to back, 4 hours, 5 hours. I don't know how long this show is gonna be, but we'll see. So yeah, we got an amazing panel as well. We got a fan that I would say someone that isn't podcasting or anything, but just a guy that watches a lot of the podcasting stuff, and I've talked to him a lot of times, played some games with him, and he is called Marian in short term. So welcome, Marian.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for calling me.
Yeah, not a problem. I mean, everyone is welcome on my show. I don't think I should exclude fans into that as well, or just people that want to try it for the first time, be on a podcast. I think I can give them a go because mine is not particularly about topics. It's just about having a conversation, a nice conversation about whatever we want to talk about. So, and then next on we have Centurion. So, welcome.
What is up, guys? Oh my gosh. Let me see. It's probably like what? Almost, let me see. It's what? Almost 11 o'clock there?
11:17. Yes.
11:17. My
Yeah,
God. It's like 2 o'clock in the
it's
afternoon for
like
me.
midnight for
Man,
me.
So you're from Pacific, I guess.
I am on Pacific time, yes. Except for here in Arizona, we live on our own time. When everybody goes on to daylight savings time, we do not. And so I have to adjust for all the shows. Because like literally the shows start an hour later than what I'm used to when daylight savings time kicks in. I live in like one of the few states here in the US that does not participate in any kind of daylight savings time or anything like that. Basically the time is what it is.
Okay. Yeah, cool. I appreciate you being here in the first place. I mean,
Oh, I
we talked,
appreciate it too, man.
yeah, we talked a little bit before, and you were interested to be in the show because I asked you to. I think it was that way. Uh,
Yeah. No, we met in the
Yeah,
Gamers United Guild chat, and you
yes.
asked me to come here. And I don't know, I've been doing a lot of shows lately over in Europe, the UK. I'm just actually having fun, kind of chatting and actually learning what it's like on the other side of the world.
Yeah, uh, that's true. And then the third person we have on the show is one that really likes be out there, like on the news site called Game on Daily. We have Asa.
Yeah, and good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are in the world.
Yeah, for you it's UK, so you're like an hour earlier than me,
Mm,
so 10,
mhm.
18 now.
Yeah, not too tired yet. I've run out of coffee, but yeah, I think I'll survive the show.
Hey, you can go whenever you want, man. It doesn't matter if you stay for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, even 5 hours, like we did one time. It's an insane kind of thing, but yeah,
Might regret that. I might keep you here for 10.
nah, that's something I can't do. Probably I need to work tomorrow, so. But I have some time to spare. I mean, but yeah, thanks all for coming, guys. So I think what we should talk about in the first place is about what happened this week. Not to be scripted or anything, but just like it is very daunting, I would say, what happened this week. Like a lot of stuff happened, and I think I do want to hear like a lot of people's opinions on it. So it's always interesting to hear more opinions on it in the first place. So yeah, I guess we can go with that, and then we'll see where we get. So in the background we have some Doom running. I will have some Mafia Definitive Edition, the new game that came out as well from the first one. So that's also, and then for the rest we'll see what comes up, what videos I will display. So yeah. So who's want to start?
I can't think what news you're talking about. Nothing's happened this week, has it?
No, no.
No, technically not, because it's Monday over
No,
here, so
Oh, now we're being joking. Now we're just being, but no, absolutely nothing has happened. Geez, it's just been a very quiet news week for all of gaming.
yeah, it was weak. Yeah, and like nothing really happened. Microsoft bought Bethesda. The
That was
usual.
only $7.5 billion. Though.
Yeah,
That's trivial.
it's only
Trivial.
7.5. This is nothing at
Yeah, it's
all.
nothing huge.
It's not even 1% of their capital, so they don't like, oh, here's 7.5 billion. I don't care.
They did it more subtly than Sony did when they got Insomniac. When they got, it was at Gamescom when they purchased, and well, when they came out and said that they purchased Insomniac, and as they were like getting Rod Ferguson off the stage, you got Jeff Keighley going, "Oh, it was great seeing you, Rod. Hey, you have a good night. Oh, by the way, PlayStation bought Insomniac," and it was just like, I was shocked. I woke up at like 6:30 in the morning, my time, opened my phone, and here's this title that says Xbox bought Bethesda, and I thought it was a joke at first.
Nah, hold on. We'll make this interesting. Like this is actually a moment because this hasn't happened before in gaming, like in general, right? From such a big acquisition. Where were you when the news hit? So let's start
Oh,
with
I'm so sorry.
Marian.
I was in bed sleeping.
Okay, that's interesting. So you didn't know until the news hit,
Yeah,
till like
I was
way
like,
later on Twitter, I guess.
yeah, I was like waking up, and then boom, Microsoft bought Bethesda. Like I was, what is going on over here? And then after 10 minutes, I realized it's real.
Yeah.
And one thing I want from Bethesda is Fallout 5 being an exclusive.
Ooh.
'Cause,
Ooh.
yeah,
Let's
I'm right.
pause to where you
I'm
were
straight
and
to
ask
the
why you
point.
want that.
Why? Sorry.
Let's ask why you want it to be exclusive. Why not? I want Fallout 5. Why I want Fallout 5 to be exclusive. Why does that make it better?
I mean, you know, people keep saying that Xbox has no games. Well, with a game like Fallout 5 being an exclusive, it would be a huge deal, if you ask me.
It will be a huge deal, but for me, like if I was playing, to be honest, I'd probably play it on the PC, but I'm going to have the Xbox Series X as well. But for me, I'd like to play Fallout 5, but I don't mind if other people get to play it as well. Doesn't make it better or worse.
Yeah, I want to agree as well. Like for me personally, I just want as many people to enjoy gaming as it is. I would like my perfect picture, right? Every company works together. They all make the money they want, without all the business practices we see with Sony, like locking up exclusives, like Xbox locking up exclusives, like they're doing now. In my perfect world, they all like you can play everywhere you want to. They-
Yeah, that would be nice.
that would be the
Especially that
best.
we have xCloud
Like
now.
I just talked to my brother, and he's basically like, I want him to sell my Xbox for a low price because I actually want to play with him a lot more. But the problem is he only plays PlayStation. And it
Hmm.
seems he doesn't like the control of Xbox. He just doesn't like it at all. He never will. I tried, but yeah, he doesn't want to. I mean, Series X for like $100. How can you refuse it, right?
That's an interesting thing though. That if he's playing on the PlayStation for the sake of the controller, I think the PlayStation 5 controller looks really nice, but it's not similar to the PlayStation 4 one. So
No, it's just the
that's good
feeling
for your
of it
brother that he likes it.
with the twin stick, like how
Mhm.
it's different. it's a different economic feeling, I would say. But for me personally, yeah, I love Xbox more in that regard, especially with the Elite. More premium, it feels better in the hand, heavier. But yeah, it's Centurion. Let's say, where were you when the news hit? What were you
Well,
doing?
like I said, I was at home, but let's as soon as I found out the news was real, I started texting and calling a few people here in Arizona, waking them up. So definitely that was a little fun.
Hey, yo,
Um,
pick up the phone.
well, yeah, like they actually thought for a second they were like, "Yeah, get out." That's funny. I'm like, "No, they did," and like I was sending them links to like actual websites through like the Wall Street Journal and Bloomberg. I wasn't just linking them random websites, and they were like, "Oh my god!" And we were all chatting about it all day at work, texting. Um, but the whole exclusive thing, see, I'm still on the fence of I understand the concept of a game being exclusive draws people at least to your ecosystem.
Mhm.
And at least from Microsoft's perspective, they have the most flexible ecosystem on the market. They're going to have xCloud, which is going to make that ecosystem even more flexible. So at this point, it just goes to it might be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem, which would leave PlayStation out. Now, does that hold back other people with PlayStations? In a way it does, but
Yes.
it really doesn't put the blame on Microsoft. Regretfully, PlayStation has done a very good job of painting themselves into a corner with this mantra of we believe in generations. We want basically the whole sacred garden, exclusive, exclusive, exclusive. And you see all these other companies working together. We see EA working with Microsoft. It was because of Microsoft's relationship with Bethesda, which actually paved the way for this deal. So PlayStation is almost in a way getting what they created because now the market is going to completely pass them by. Microsoft is not concerned with Sony. They're concerned about Google. They're concerned about Amazon. And everybody wants to talk exclusives. If Google or Amazon, whatever companies Google and Amazon absorb, everything is going to be exclusive on a very, very limited platform. Both of these companies are not as flexible as Microsoft when it comes to when you buy a game over here, you can also play it over there and over here, where on Google and Amazon, they don't do that.
Hmm. Yeah, I do want to say first of all, I think PlayStation is like the worst offender in this. Like you can only play it on PlayStation. At least with Xbox, you have PC as well, and maybe Switch. Like some games come over to the Switch.
Yeah,
Um,
you're going to talk
Yeah.
worst
but
offenders.
I
It's not
think
really fair that
PlayStation.
Nintendo get left out of that conversation all the time because they're also right up there with the keeping things exclusive.
Yeah,
But
that's true. It is true
No,
though.
to kind of describe it, it's like I hate using this as an example, so forgive me. But if you look at like how governments work around the world, no matter what country you're in, a lot of times when you have government officials that are very up there in age, they're out of touch with the way things work now. And that is the problem with PlayStation is they are stuck in their old ways, the way things that made them very successful, ways that basically helped them make them PlayStation. And these ways are now starting to go away, and they're trying to hold this foot stance in a market that is dying out regretfully. Like if I'm 34 years old and the more people I meet younger than me, the more and more they become accustomed to not owning their media. They're used to streaming stuff. And it just seems like no matter how much is kicking and screaming, the market is changing whether they like it or not.
Okay.
but then as a 34-year-old, and it sounds like you're more aware of the issues with owning the games that you buy and things like that. Do you not want to? This is hypothetical, but do you not want to kind of defend that stance of Sony? Does it not suit you better as somebody that considers owning media? Would you not want to fight in their corner and like tooth and nail keep their business model so that you can own your games and trade them and all the rest of it?
I see. Here's the funny part. I'm sitting on, God, 600 Blu-rays and 4K Blu-rays. I prefer owning physical media when it comes to video entertainment, just because um, the internet limitations here, at least in the United States, are abysmal. If my neighbor turns on their microwave, it could screw up the cable line, and you'll see quality drop very quickly.
Yeah.
So for me, when I'm watching a movie on my 4K television, I can actually see dips in resolution and stuff like that based on the internet messing up. And so when it comes to, like, movies I really enjoy, I do get them hard copy. With gaming, I've kind of let it go, because once I learned that the disc is actually your golden ticket to play, you don't really truly own your games. PlayStation proved that with, I believe, Drive Club. Even if you own the disc, you didn't have the game because they shut down the server. It just quit working.
Yeah.
And so that's where definitely I've kind of in a way embraced it. I actually enjoy having a large digital game library. I don't have all these video games laying around now. My wife kind of enjoys it. But yeah, definitely during the Xbox 360 era, I definitely sang a different tune.
So I'm with you. I'm the same in that I prefer. So I would stick to Blu-ray and 4K Blu-rays because I prefer the quality of it, and you don't have the same kind of issue if you're downloading games, because you are downloading them. So it's not a quality difference in the same way, but the ownership thing is the same scenario that you just described. But with Sony and the way that they're selling their games for their ridiculous prices, they are also still behind the rest of the industry in that generally their games aren't rammed full of microtransactions and things like that. So at the moment, there's a lot of negativity around what Sony are doing, and I'm a part of that. I've shouted like bad things, and I'm a big fan of the things that Microsoft are doing with their ecosystem and the way that they're bringing things to everybody, and they're doing their cross gen upgrades and all the rest of it very nicely. But there is something to be said for Sony doing these massive cinematic games and not cramming them full of microtransactions, which you don't really get elsewhere.
Hmm.
Just
Interesting.
to try and tip things a little bit back, give them a little bit of defense, because
Oh
this
yeah, no,
era
when you
that
put it
they're
that
trying
way,
to, yeah, the era that they're trying to
I never
hold
even
on
thought
to.
about it like that.
Mhm.
And Marion, what do you think about it when you hear all this?
I'm still processing all of this.
It's pretty new for you, though.
Yeah, to be honest, it's pretty new and also very interesting hearing all of your thoughts here.
Hmm.
So you're 20, aren't you? Is that right, Marion?
Yeah,
You
that's
probably
right.
don't remember this time before microtransactions that we're talking about, but
Yeah,
it used to be you buy a game and you had it. That was it. That was the game.
Yeah, that
yeah.
was how it
Right
was
now,
back in the day.
I think games are like a burger. You have the base, and then you keep
People
adding
start
stuff.
charging me for
Yeah,
condiments. I'm not having that.
exactly.
I
That's
still
it.
remember going into GameStop and buying Mass Effect 2. This was like, they always say you'll remember your first experience for a lot of things. I remember walking into GameStop buying Mass Effect 2 on disc for 360, because that's how I was. And you get to the counter and he's like, "Would you like to buy the character DLC with your purchase?" It's like, well, wait a minute. What? You're trying to sell me DLC already? I'm picking up my pre-order.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think for me the first game in that regard was Assassin's Creed.
yeah.
One of the Assassin's Creed. That was the first time they were like, "Hey, do you want to buy the season pass?" I'm like, "What?"
Do you know what's funny though is being topical. So if you look back at like the history of microtransactions and things, the big one that kind of kicked it all off was Oblivion from Bethesda.
Yes, with the horse armor. The horse
Mm.
armor was the worst thing in the world, and basically, I think where it went to shit with that, like, it had so many backlash, and still people bought it.
Yeah, and Phil Spencer's got a lot of horse armor now, 7.5 billion's worth.
Yeah, yeah,
Put
and
up on as many horses as he wants.
also I think Witcher 3 did a spoof on that with their game. Like when the game came out and they said like, yeah, it's not gonna be no like purchase DLC like horse armor and stuff. Uh, I think they even gave free or horse armor. I'm not really sure on that though.
yeah. Don't I guess I don't even belong in a microtransaction conversation. I play ESO online, and
Oh,
they have
great.
milked me. They have milked me for hundreds of dollars.
I just bought the Greymore
Oh, dude,
upgrade.
I'm playing. I'm playing. I pre-ordered Greymore, but I work so much that I am just now playing it because I want to get done with the whole Skyrim expansion before the end of the year. Because at the end of the year, that's when they do the oh my god, they do their version of basically New Year's, where it's all a whole bunch of events.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I bought it on a whim. Just saw it was a really low price. It's like 16 euros or 20 euros here for the upgrade. And I got the base game and I got one of the DLCs. So I'm like, hey, let's buy Greymore. So I didn't buy all of them. But I check my MMOs from time to time, especially World of Warcraft that comes out next month in October is gonna be really good for Shadowlands, so I'm really hoping for that to be the best expansion yet since Cataclysm. I mean, if this fails, I'm not gonna invest more time into World of Warcraft anymore. So
Oh, I know. Now, I never got into World of Warcraft, but the guy who got me into Elder Scrolls Online was a World of Warcraft for a fanatic. And the funny part is, him and his wife actually met on Unreal Tournament, I believe it was called. So they were the ones that introduced me to Elder Scrolls Online, and it was my first encounter with a MMO. And I, luckily enough, was introduced to it early enough to where I got to experience the original concept of the game before the one Tamriel completely the remake over of the
yes,
whole game.
yes. That was a good update, I want to say. Like that was one of the
Oh
best
yeah,
updates they had.
the game was divided into zones. Your character had almost like, now you could kind of see the remains of it, but I
Hmm.
guess you could relate it to like a light level or a gear score, and you had to level it up to go into these zones. Because if you went into one of these zones, like if you were like a 200 character in a 500 zone, you were gonna get your ass handed to you.
Yes, and I think that's one of the main reasons a lot of people came back to the game because of that update. Because before that, it was basically like you had the three factions and you couldn't even go to the other factions yet, right?
Right.
Like to the worlds.
No, you
Um,
could. Okay, so you could, but the only way it was possible is you had to do the main quest lines for
okay.
that entire faction, and then it gives you a chance to go back and talk to the main guy called Cadwell, who is actually oh my gosh,
Cadwell.
the guy who plays Cadwell is actually a very famous UK actor,
Is it?
Sir something.
Yeah, yeah, he's the
He was
sir.
from Monty Python.
Yes, yes, yes. What's his name again?
um
Daniel? No. Hold on. I'm gonna look it up real quick. I'm gonna be on the internet.
But
You're
anyways, you'd go back to him, and he would give you something that would allow, because back in the day the factions were on different servers, and you actually could not cross over without it giving you a certain object to be able to do that, and it was in certain situations. But yeah, the one Tamriel thing made it to where you could go anywhere. How did we get on
Okay.
ESO? Anyways, it was microtransactions. But I will say, yes, I'm a victim of embracing microtransactions. But I really would say I don't like microtransactions that go beyond the scope of, a little bit of DLC, maybe an appearance thing. But when it starts altering the game, especially in multiplayer, I remember when the whole Battlefront 2 thing went down. I actually bought Battlefront 2, and when I was picking it up, they were trying to actually get us to buy these like starter packs and other stuff, and that's when we were kind of worried about what was going to happen. And not even a week later, all of a sudden, my EA is like being accused of creating gambling.
yeah, I remember that.
Okay. Yeah, that was. Oh my God.
And I
More
also remember that Disney had to punch EA in their ass in order to get rid of microtransactions.
I think the conversation was like this, like Disney called PlayStation like, if you're not gonna do this, we're gonna cut you off immediately. Like,
Yeah.
make this done, bam, and they put down the phone, and that's it. Also, John Cleese was the actor that you were looking
Yeah.
for, Centurion.
For the more recent one, I'm gonna bring up for microtransactions, something that upset me recently, where I really didn't like seeing them. And I know, Flamish, that you're a big fan of this game, which is why I bring it up. I was playing the Marvel Avengers campaign.
Mm,
I was going really well, and I'm having
okay.
a good time. And you get to this mission with Iron Man, and then it gives you like 5 quests in a row to go and see faction vendors to grind your crap, and a cosmetic shop, and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
And I was sick in my mouth. Like, this is horrible. You've just done this in the middle of a campaign.
Yeah, but
What do you think of that?
I basically didn't mind it because I know it was the same thing like Destiny did back in the like how they do their model. Basically, I know they went the same way with the faction and like leveling them up, doing quests for them. Like, this is how you do daily content and weekly content these days, it
Yeah.
seems. Like,
It
it's
is,
in
and I hate
more games than you can imagine. Even just normal single player games like Assassin's Creed has this kind of stuff like weekly and daily missions you can do to earn special currency and unlock special stuff. It's
so I find
everywhere.
it certainly is everywhere, and I've had like I just personally have a massive aversion to it. I get the need for like, it's impossible for developers to make content at a rate that will satisfy the people that are playing it all the time. So you need to have things like daily
Mhm.
quests that are kind of recyclable content to keep those people entertained.
I
But for me, as soon
actually
as I play a game and it says do this daily, no, this is a game, not a job. I'm not interested anymore.
I don't even look at that stuff. Like, that stuff is just for people that want to do it. Like, I don't want to do that stuff. Like, daily coming onto a game. That's what you're saying. Basically, doing like a job. No, I just game when I want to game. I don't care about the progression stuff that much. I just like to have fun in my games. So I don't even pay attention to that. Like, I see, okay, faction store. Well, like when I do stuff, I get shit. I can basically like buy something from the vendor store then, and when it's high, I can buy more shit from the vendor store. Okay, cool. That's it. That's what I thought when I saw that stuff. But I know what was going to happen anyway. I saw it all before the game came out. I know what the faction vendor was about, so I was actually already prepared for it.
Yeah, and I knew it would be there for the multiplayer side of it. I just wasn't happy when it interrupted the campaign. But like,
Yeah.
it is an example of a game because obviously it's going to be, or their plan is for that game to run for like 10 years or so. And I do
Yeah, 10
appreciate the
years.
need to get some money if you're going to do that, rather
Hmm.
than charging for expansion. So it's not all bad, but it was just a little too intrusive at that point for me. So,
Yeah.
Do you guys remember that also Anthem had a plan for 10 years? And look now, we're done.
Hold on, but I want to say Anthem is something really special in that regard.
I agree.
It's the most failed game ever, I would say. It's the most
And
failed
most
game ever.
hyped game.
Yeah, one of the most hyped game, but most failed game ever. For me personally, Anthem was the game that's gonna crush Destiny
Destiny.
and
Yeah.
stuff. Like, that was
Same.
how it was in my mind. That's how it looked. Basically, you were Iron Man in a suit, shooting stuff. That's how I looked at the game. We didn't
Now
know
that you
too
talk
much
about
before the game
Iron
came out as well. There was not many things that they let us see before the game came out. There were a couple of live streams, but we didn't see end game stuff. We didn't see. We basically saw some missions. That was how it was, and some free roaming. But there was not a lot of shown.
and that's because there wasn't a lot else in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
what
true.
EA wanted us to see, basically. The good part.
But I do want to say Anthem 2.0 that they're actually working on is really interesting. I'm really looking forward to it again. Basically, of what they show, I hope it's gonna be like free for everyone that
Or,
has the game.
yeah.
Because
Or
if I
we
need
can
to pay
charge
for
you $30.
no, 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 no. If they charge me, I think a lot of people will be. I'm done. I'm not gonna charge. I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
pay
done.
more for Anthem. You gave us a promise, and we want you to keep it. But no, they're basically remaking the whole game. Like, there's gonna be different genre of guns. like different factions with guns, and a
I
lot
will
more other
believe
stuff.
that when I see it.
I've seen it. I've seen some concept art already. There's been some stuff they shown off. I'm like looking with the side eye, like at the side of my eye with that game. So sometimes I pick up on stuff with that game. So I'm keeping an eye on it, I would say.
Interesting to see because it's very difficult what they're trying to do at this point because they've tarnished that IP and it will forever be Anthem, the game that flopped. So for them to still be investing in it to try and rescue it, good luck to them, but it's going to be difficult. Final Fantasy 14 managed it, but then it's Final
I
Fantasy and it's not. You can't tarnish an IP that strong that quickly.
hold on.
Anthem.
I do wanna. I don't agree with you, Asa, because No Man's Sky is the same. No Man's Sky is also the game they lied in the beginning a lot about the game. The game was actually almost empty when it launched. I stuck with it because I saw the potential of the game. There was a
Yeah,
lot
and
of potential.
you can say the same
Now-
for Sea of Thieves and things as well.
Yeah, Sea of
There
Thieves
are
as
games that
well.
start small and they keep adding month by
Now,
month by
can
month.
you blame that?
Go on.
Can you blame that on their developers or their publishers?
Depends. Sometimes the developers want to do stuff, but the publishers don't want them to do stuff because it doesn't rake in money or.
Oh well, we're just gonna look at Sea of Thieves and in No Man's Sky. Sea of Thieves obviously was pushed out at a time when Xbox had very little coming out. So it was kind of like regretfully forced out. Same with No Man's Sky. Regretfully, PlayStation kind of did the same thing. They held No Man's. I remember watching the trailer for No Man's Sky, going, "Oh my gosh, I want to check this out."
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I saw the reviews after it came out, and that's when I saw that, ooh, can I blame this on him, or can I just say Sony kind of put them in a position that was unescapable? But I do like the fact that both developers did come back and now have a very finely crafted product. I own both versions of these games. And when it comes to No Man's Sky, I didn't buy it on the PlayStation. I pre-ordered it when it officially came to Xbox. And from what I have played, I was actually pretty happy with what the game offered.
I actually support it on the three platforms. I have it on Xbox, on PC, and on PlayStation. So
And that's cool.
so I can play it everywhere that I want to. And also, there just came a new update. Origins just came out. So Orion or Origins. I don't know the name for sure. Like I have to check it out, of course. But I do want to say Sea of Thieves and No Man's Sky is a different ballpark because Sea of Thieves was basically you make the content yourself in that game. If you play with friends and you're just doing stuff, you fantasize a little bit your own stories in there. I would say,
I get
like
what
when
you're
it just
saying. You're
came out.
talking about making your own, but I'm
Yeah,
talking about the people who played the betas and saw dolphins and fish and stuff in the water that weren't there when the game came out. There was actually articles coming out that there was
really.
content in the betas that didn't make it in the official launch of the game.
That's interesting. I didn't even know that.
See, and that was like kind of like where I was saying that, regretfully, Microsoft or who Rare, they kind of left a few things out, and that's why people were saying that it kind of felt like it didn't have any content was purely because people weren't used to a game like that. Like you were saying, you had to go out and make your own story. They weren't used to a concept like that.
Yeah,
But there was also the articles coming out from the people because actually Sea of Thieves had a very lengthy beta testing time. I remember listening to podcasts
true.
for
Yeah.
months about people who would play Sea of Thieves online. And so then after the game came out, they were starting to talk about how there was things in the betas that weren't in the launch of the game.
Yeah.
So I played the betas for Sea of Thieves before it came out, and
Okay,
there might have been some examples like that, like dolphins that you said in particular. For me, I didn't come across anything like that. I think what I noticed from that testing phase was a lot of people that were doing it were saying this is fun, and it's not limited on content because they assumed that at release there would be more. And actually, what they were playing was what they got. And there probably were some examples of things that dropped in, like dolphins, like whatever else that I didn't personally notice. But for me, what I played beforehand is what they released. People were very shocked that there wasn't more. They didn't suddenly open a floodgate of like story-based content or whatever else. That actually what they were testing was the final game. But actually, for all that they've added month by month to make Sea of Thieves really popular now, and it is still popular on Steam and all the rest of it. It's a game that sells now, and players love it. I don't actually think it's all that different to how it was at launch. It still feels pretty similar. There is more in it, more little things you can play with, more toys that they've given you, but the concept of it, the difference between launch and now is small to my eyes, and it's interesting how different the perception is in that
Yeah,
time.
I guess for me personally, I don't like the game. I tried to get into it again, like a few weeks ago, but I just don't like it. It's just because there's no progression with your weapons, with your stuff. Like you cannot get stronger. Overall, you can just level your like the factions you do missions for, but
Mhm.
they always feel the same. Basically, like you have to collect some boxes or crates or chests or have to kill a skeleton, but you come across skeletons all the time. So it feels it feels to me like that game is just too much one of a kind mission type stuff that you're doing. So it doesn't feel progression enough to me, basically to grind for it. You know, like it's a massive grind. That game is one of the biggest grinds I've ever seen. For me personally, right? Don't quote me on the games like Diablo and stuff because that's an all different grind. But for this, basically, I don't think. Yeah.
So what you're describing was the one thing that Rare didn't want to create. Because if we use Destiny as an example,
Hmm.
if you don't keep up on the grind on that game and keep up doing everything in that game and keep your light score going up as the game progresses, like somebody like me right now, I still have to do shadow keep, and if I was to try to group up with anybody, they wouldn't probably be able to do any events of any kind because my score would be too low to do most of the events. And that was something that Rare was wanting to avoid, was creating situations where this person could go on a quest but that person couldn't because they hadn't got their score up high enough. That's where I feel like the real shining moments of Sea of Thieves are when you actually have a group of friends together and you're able to go out and do some of the biggest quests. For me, one of the best times I ever had in the Sea of Thieves, and also playing multiplayer, I imagine that, was with a complete stranger that showed me how just me and him did a skull fort, just me and him.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting that game. For me personally, yeah, I just told my piece. Like, Marion, did you play Sea of Thieves back in the day,
Yeah,
or?
I've been playing Sea of Thieves for a while. I recently started play again with a friend of mine,
Mm-hmm.
and I can say this game is better if you play it with a couple of friends. As if you
Yeah,
play alone, you're getting bored pretty quickly, at least in my point of view.
yeah.
Yeah, you need
Because
to.
I
It,
think, sorry,
no, go
I
ahead.
think Sea of Thieves is like a game you started, but after, let's say, 15 hours, you are in the same point where you started, but with better cosmetics. And
Mm.
It is, yeah. And at this point, I think everyone's probably got at least one set of cosmetics that they're happy with if they've been playing the game significantly. But it is the whole game leans very much on social interaction, whether that be with your friends or I guess some people are more extrovert and can get along with strangers quite happily and have a good time. But yeah, if
yeah,
you try and sail alone, it's hard.
now that you bring that up, I had a pretty funny event with somebody. Like, I was playing alone and met up with a group of
Mm-hmm.
players, and they attacked me, and we both sank our ships. And then the guy sent me a message saying, "Oh, I'm sorry for what happened." Like, literally, we both apologized for that. It was unexpected,
Okay.
pretty fun.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah.
Let me bring some other gameplay here from Dishonored 2, because that's also a game from the new studios. So I'm like, hey, let's bring all the new studios in here, like one for one. That's something that I wanted to do. So, yeah. Also about No Man's Sky, because I was thinking about the points over there. And No Man's Sky was a little bit different in that regard because the game had some stuff to do. Like, it's not that you didn't have nothing to do, you had to grind up and get better ships and stuff. But the promise that the developer made, because he had a dream, and the marketing for the game was solely on him. Like, Sony actually didn't market the game properly. That's what's his name again? Sean Murray. Like Sean Murray, he was a guy that basically marketed the game, and he promised so much, like did so many interviews, and didn't say what the game was, but what the game would be. And
I
actually,
remember he kept promising Wii U will be
multiplayer
with
will be
yeah,
there,
will be
and
player, you'll meet with other people on the other
yeah,
planets.
and you can farm and you can make you can do whatever you want and stuff, which was basically not true at all.
Yeah.
Like you cannot even fly your ship into the planet and stuff, which I
Did
think
you
was so
know
weird.
No Man's Sky actually has a purpose? Like
Yeah,
you have to go
it's
to the center of the universe or something like that?
yes, you had to go to the center of the universe, and when you got there, that was the main gripe of the game. Like when you get there, just like you start all over again. And that was so bad. So many people were so mad because of that. Like it's basically like infinite progression because you just go to a different system overall, like a different galaxy, and start over again. It's so
Yeah.
bad. It was basically a big fuck you, I would say.
Yeah, like we gave you a reason to play now. How about you start over all over again once you
Yeah.
got there?
Yeah, and they changed the game after a while, bringing new updates. There were vehicles all of a sudden, and other stuff going on, underwater bases. You had newer ships. You had freighters, which was also something he promised in the beginning that I've seen. I've seen like documentaries about this, so that's why I'm a little bit more knowledgeable, I would say, about this.
Multiplayer, VR, loads of big things that did come to it eventually.
Yeah, also VR. VR was a really big moment in that game. That game needed VR to be more successful overall, I feel.
I don't think
Yeah,
VR's ever made anything successful.
No, really? You think so?
Not that it's not made anything good. I love VR, but commercial success, nah.
Yeah, it's still niche. It's still niche. But
Mhm.
with the new headset, Oculus 2,
Like
the
I say, I love
the
VR. I
Quest.
recommend anybody that's not tried it, stop listening to people that naysay and give it a go because it's phenomenal. It's definitely difficult to get into. It's not nearly as accessible as sitting on a console or whatever else, but there's nothing else quite like it. So if you've got a chance to give it a go, Oculus Quest 2 looks good. HP Reverb G2 looks great. There are options there,
Hmm.
but it is not big at the moment. So
Also, I got a question for you guys because Matt is actually bringing something interesting up, but totally different. I'm gonna go to the whole different part now. Um, like Matt is basically saying I can't go back to my gaming history because it's terrible today. Like basically saying that back in the day when you play games and you look at them back now, it's terrible. Those memories are better left in the past. It's so good today, why bother with old stuff? What do you guys think about that? This is
Hmm.
gonna be interesting.
oh, okay. I like the retro gaming scene. I don't necessarily. I agree and I don't agree because I think there's some great stuff in those old games, and a lot of them are. Once you start playing, you can look past the fact that graphics have advanced and all the rest of it, and there are some great experiences to be had. At the same time, my backlog of games at the moment that I've never played is about 5,000 strong. So I can't. It's hard for me to justify going back and playing a game that I played 20 years ago because there are some great games that I've never played. I need to get around to those first. When I reach the age of 700 or so, maybe I'll go back.
Have you found a possibility for immortality, Asa?
Oh, I have, yeah, yeah.
Maybe
Can
use
you
cyberware.
DM me that later maybe? Give me some of that inside scoop you have.
Flamish, you had a choice and you chose the Series X.
Yeah, I did. I do want to thank you for that, guys. So if you don't know, and I do want to bring this up, like it's something that I really want to bring my heart to. Like, I wanted to pre-order the Series X, and I had one like in my local store, but they basically said like you have to wait so long till like next year somewhere to get the Series X, and I could still pre-order in my like online store, the MediaMarkt, and I was talking to some people like, can maybe someone like help me out? I really want to pre-order, but I can't at the moment. There's also some stuff happened why that I don't want to explain here, but it's a little bit private. But there's basically some stuff happening that made it impossible for me to pre-order because normally I had the money, but that was not possible because of that. And yeah, actually, Game on Daily was like, "Hey, message Gaz, and we'll figure out something." And yeah, I really wanna thank you again, guys, for doing this. This is it's I'm speechless because of that. I never thought something like that would happen. Like uh, I'm always thinking like, you know, you have a yes you can get, but I never thought like maybe it's like in the smallest chance someone will help me out, but I never thought it would really happen. And in the end, when it really happened and I saw the confirmation in my mail, I was like so giddy. I made like the most squealing voice in the world, like a little piglet, like.
Oh, don't do it again.
This community is awesome.
It's gonna. I'm so happy of that. Like yeah, just it when I think about it, still floats in my head and still makes me so happy.
Good, because you were down when it all happened,
Yeah,
quite noticeably on Twitter, and I think I saw you in the chat on one of the other podcasts that you were supporting. Just like I need to go. I'm not in the mood for this. Flamish, the positive gamer, needs to go. That couldn't happen. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm always positive, but I was so down because of that. Basically, also because they actually violated the pre-order date. They basically, for Xbox, did it weeks ago. Like even months ago, you could already register on the pre-order, and I did like 2 months, I think, at the game showcase, and they already like started up getting like the stuff or how many pre-orders they're gonna get and stuff. And yeah, they violated that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna tell Microsoft, of course, because it's still my game store. I mean,
You know,
but
same here. Same thing happened here. Like local stores didn't kick in pre-orders,
no.
and we are going to do this like in October,
Hmm.
maybe November.
let's put that retro question. I think
Yeah.
I mean retro for Marion. It was probably like Bloodborne was the oldest game he can remember. Let's go there.
All
You
this,
play, would you go to retro games?
all this game I can remember playing.
Oh, that's interesting, Marian. Tell us.
GTA Vice City.
Vice City. Wow, that's still pretty new though.
Yeah,
Basically,
I'm,
that's PlayStation 1 or 2 era? PlayStation 1, I think.
PlayStation 1.
Yeah, yeah.
And the shocking part of this story is that you must have been like 4 when you played that Grand Theft Auto.
No, I was 7.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, I still remember the first one. The first one was so amazing when it came out, like so different, like just walking around, stealing cars, killing people, driving them over. Like the very first GTA.
The
Have you ever seen that, Marion? Otherwise, I'll put it on the
first
screen.
GTA, yeah, I have seen it. Like you had the view from,
Top down.
uh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna put it on the gameplay because it is a fun game to
No,
watch for
I
me.
remember when I got GTA Vice City, I got it from a friend, and I didn't had the audio files, so I played without audio files. for like a few years. So basically, when oh, I forgot his name, the guy with the yacht, I forgot his name.
The protagonist, or
No, Tommy made up with the guy on the yacht. No, Diaz. What was his name?
So this was basically what the game was like.
Let me check.
This was the game, so basically very janky. The camera movement was really bad, like all over the place all the time. And the story was like non-existent. You didn't really pay attention to what was said. You
Wow.
were just going around following the arrow, killing the guys you need to kill, and that's it. And trying to avoid the cops, basically.
Jesus.
But it was fun, man. This
Yeah, I
game,
believe.
holy shit. And when the second one came out back in the day, that was with three factions that you basically have to divide between, like what missions you wanted to do for what faction and stuff. Who you want to be friends, who you want to like be enemies with, and it made it so much better. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's nothing compared to even the more retro games before that, because this was basically like 2.5D, I would say. It was not really 2D. It was more 2.5D in my regard. Um, but like I remember the first real game, and I want to go over everyone in here. Like the first real game that I played was on the PC, and it was actually Lego chess. So basically, this game was, I think, 2D or 2.5D, but it was basically learning how to play chess on the PC. It was so stupid but so fun. That's how I learned to play chess back in the day as well. Um, but yeah,
That's nice.
what's your first game you played, Asa?
oh, um, yeah. Do I lie? Do I try and make myself seem younger than I am? I can't decide. No. My kind of first earliest memories was Atari ST that I had at home. Games like Bomb Jack. And to be honest, I was so young when I was playing these, I can't actually remember what most of the games were called. The ones that I really remember from when I actually started taking more of an interest in it for myself, I started with Sonic 2 on it's the Mega Drive over here, so the Genesis over there, and Mario Bros. 3. So those kind of games. But
Ah,
yeah, and the original, still most terrifying game that I've ever played, Echo the Dolphin.
Echo the Dolphin.
Oh yeah.
Sounds very terrifying to me. Okay. And for you, Centurion, what game did you play first?
Oh my gosh, you're making me think way back.
That's why.
Definitely like Super Mario Brothers on the original Nintendo, stuff like Kirby's Dream Land, just
Oh,
Nintendo
yes.
classics like that.
Yes.
Um, and then I guess also around the same time on PC, I think it was like called King's Quest 4.
Mhm.
Oh,
I'm
that's
not too
actually in
sure.
Game Pass as well.
There's a game called King's Quest which I do have. But yeah, no, the back in these days it was kind of around the same concept, but yeah, it was a game called King's Quest 4, but it was definitely a massive puzzle game.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. I'll see if I can get some gameplay for that because that's also very
Ah,
interesting. I want to see
I'm not
like.
even sure if I have the right King's Quest. See, that's where I'm just guessing. I really, because I forget how many there's been now. It just happened to be on the computer
Oh
that
yeah,
my
yeah, I got
grandparents
it.
set up.
Yeah, it's from 1988. Just saying.
Damn.
It says on the bottom. Yeah, it's King Quest 4. This is the one you probably played. You don't remember. But yeah, it's interesting. Maybe yeah, I was like, let's get some. That's why I do this stuff. I just like to go random and just find videos that's interesting because this is something I haven't seen before. So could be interesting.
Flings the battered hat towards his children while his wife, Queen Valence, proudly looks on. What a game.
I know,
The hat.
dude. It was on the computer, man.
King Graham experiences a terrible squeezing pain in his chest, and then he died.
He died of throwing his own hat.
No.
Interesting. Okay, that's awesome. Okay. Yeah. Weekly
Rest in peace.
Father Death hovering near. Oh my god, this is amazing. Hold on, let me get to gameplay because I want to see what the
Yeah.
gameplay is like. Yeah, this is the gameplay. So this was back in the day, like you have to type stuff to find stuff. Basically, Suit Larry, like the really first one, I have it in on PC now because there's like a bundle you could buy with all 7 games in there, and it was also like this. From you also have to type stuff to see what you can do in the game. It's really weird actually. Like I still don't like why how they play.
Explains so much. So in your formative years as a child, you were playing Leisure Suit Larry.
No. I bought it. I bought it like a couple of weeks ago we played on Retro Renegades, which is the other show I do with Graphic God and Super Song Station and Crispy and a few others. Jago, cannot forget Jago of course. And yeah, basically he the I think Graphic God played Suit Larry, the first one, and he was basically typing stuff to do in the game, which is so weird. Like I don't see that working. Like this, open a door to basically go inside.
You
Like
know,
you have to type open door. It's like,
I'm wondering what if such a game like this will be in 2020.
Not possible. I guess most people don't even try that stuff anymore. Like it's so weird. I, like I would not ever try this again. Or even try it. I think I never played a game like this.
Do you know the crazy thing watching this game is you've got it looks like you have to know really specific commands, like the characters walked in here and done clean house to activate this particular sequence. This
Uh-huh.
was before Google. How did people do it?
I don't know. How many people would have finished it? That's my question. I think it's so cool. Like I think the puzzle genre from this forward, like how it is now with the point and click and stuff after this that happened, I think that's a better one. But there's still some games I cannot beat. Like try Deponia or Deponia. Those games are so hard to play. I cannot finish them. I tried, I even look it up, but still, it's very hard to do. I don't want to look up games, basically. Are these the 7 dwarfs, by the way? Just saying. This is... Okay.
I can't stop watching this.
This is so weird. This is so weird.
Feel like I just exposed people to something.
It's like, yeah, you made us expose... Yeah.
Brain dead.
Yes, a little bit. Let's bring it over to another game. I'm gonna stop this.
Can you put Assassin's Creed Valhalla, please?
Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
Just
I'll search
change
it up
that.
immediately. Yeah, I'll go to Valhalla. Or maybe I'll go to Hades because there's not enough people playing this game. There need to be more people.
I've been watching that game and I really liked it. I know you've played it a few days ago.
Yes, I did.
It is on Game Pass or it's
No,
on
no, no,
PC?
no, no, no. It's on. I did it on PC, Steam. It was actually in.
Okay.
It was actually in. How do you say this? In on sale because it came out like. Is this
A year ago
yes.
on the Epic Games Store.
Yeah, it came a year ago, but now it's on Steam and it launched completely because then it was in early access.
Oh, that's nice.
So,
I'm
and
thinking I'm going to play it
this
because I
game is so good. So good. This is actually an older build, I guess.
let me see.
This is an older build. Okay, hold on. I'm just gonna go back to Doom. Okay. So yeah, it's Assassin 305. Hello. Welcome.
Welcome.
So yeah,
It is.
anything else you want to discuss, guys? I'm like, I'm like thinking of something, but there's nothing really I can say at the moment because of all the weed game, man. The wood game put me out of my words to say, so I'm like, damn you, Centurion, what did you do?
Oh, I do what I do best, and that's to screw with people's minds.
Thank you, sir.
It's awesome. Yeah, so are you guys interested in new DLC for Doom, by the way? Because that's coming out in a few weeks.
I
First,
recently just
I
bought it and got the. Yeah, I wanted to say I'm interested in it. So
Hmm. And you,
Yeah,
Lisa?
I haven't played Doom Eternal yet. I'm still working my way through Doom 2016.
Really?
But
So all you're
yeah,
seeing
through lack
is
of time. So I absolutely love the games. They're fantastic and they perform so well. They're brilliant to play. Um, but yeah,
how?
I'm lucky for me. I get to wait until Doom Eternal appears on Game Pass, so I don't have to pay for that one anymore.
yeah, same here.
Yeah, I think I bought the season pass even. I think I bought the Ultimate Edition for that game because I know it was gonna get massive, good DLC.
It's a worthy game. I mean, Doom 2016 is a really good game. I just figured I might as well polish that one off before I move on to the next one. But it's so hard.
Yes.
There's so many games to play.
The, the,
This is the thing.
if you look at the speedrun for the game, you can basically complete a game in half an hour if
Oh
you
yeah,
want
but that's players that are good.
to.
Well,
Just try the gas cannon and shoot actually in the other direction that you want to go. Then you just fly over everything.
I'm actually playing Doom 2016 right now, because
Oh,
that's been in my backlog forever. I bought it just before it went in the Game Pass, and in usual fashion, because it's a ritual for me, I like to buy games for my digital library, and I just bought Doom Eternal about 2 months ago. So now it's coming to Game Pass, but at least I still get the DLC exclusively. No, I don't care. If people, it just happened to be a good deal for me, so I bought it. Now other people get to experience it in Game Pass, and it doesn't bother me the least bit.
yeah, Game Pass. I'm like, do I need to buy games now? Do I just like wait till they're in Game
yeah, you need
Pass?
to buy Cyberpunk.
Cy- oh, Cyberpunk. Do you think that will ever come to Game Pass as well?
It will
I,
eventually. Now, when?
yeah,
That's a definitely good debatable story.
Who's gonna buy the game day one?
Oh, pfft.
I already pre-ordered it.
I didn't. I didn't yet. I'm waiting till like the very last second. I really want to wait for that game. Like, I'm actually, what I'm going to do from now on is basically pre-order at the last second the games I want to play because I'm not knowing if they go into Game Pass. Like Assassin's Creed Valhalla seems to go into Game Pass as well.
No.
Uh,
I've actually kind of caught on to a cool thing that I've actually started doing.
oh,
I like to watch the rewards page on my Xbox very closely because I like to stack points, and I'm starting to notice, like right now, they're doing one where if you pre-order, oh my god, the new Star Wars game that comes out pretty much at
Star
the
Wars
beginning.
Squadrons.
Yeah,
Quadrants.
if you
Yeah.
pre-order that, not only do you get the points for the purchase, but they also give you like 4,000 points as like a bonus if you order it between certain dates. So now I'm just watching for games to go up on that page that have like bonuses behind them, just so that way I can stack more rewards on them.
Is
Yeah.
it too young? Can you maybe like give me a little bit of that insight as well? Like if you're checking it out, maybe DM me like that stuff so I can get it on my news
Yeah.
channel as well, so I can let people know this because this is interesting. Like I think more people should know this.
Well, right now they're featuring games on there. Like I know Rainbow Six, the new WWE wrestling game that came out, the Star Wars game. They have a couple games up there right now where if you actually buy the game, you get a bonus on top of already what you're getting for just buying the game.
That's
Okay.
totally worth it.
Also about this game, like Doom Eternal in general, like it's basically just chess that you need to play with this game. So just be wary of that. I'm not gonna say too much because I do not want to spoil the game at all. I think I'm even gonna turn off the game then completely because otherwise you're gonna be spoiled. So
Yeah, I watched like 3 or 4 hours of gameplay, so
yeah, but Asa hasn't played the game yet. Centurion hasn't played the game yet, so
I can't
I
wait
don't
to
want to
play.
spoil people too much of
Oh,
this
dude.
game.
I still have to experience The Last of Us or The Last of Us 2. I know who dies at the end of Last of Us. It was my own personal choice to wait this long to play a game. So I've already heard some endings to games.
I even have a whole breakdown of the whole game. And Centurion, if you want to watch that, it's like all the way down my
I
YouTube
don't
channel.
go looking for spoilers, but definitely there's some people that like to shout stuff out,
You know,
especially on social media.
I have
Yeah,
a
that's a
spoiler
problem.
for you. When the game ends, credits are rolling.
Right? And you're also asking more questions than you have answers.
Yeah, true.
Also, Asa, maybe you can put some gameplay from Doom that you're playing like on your channel or something so we can see how good you are. Because if you're
That might
saying that you're not struggling with Doom, I do want to see that. I want proof, man. Like
That's not impossible. That might happen soon.
But okay,
Now,
we'll see.
I'm sorry, but I'm not a sadist. I don't turn the difficulty all the way up. I play games on normal.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, I play them on easy. Easy is fun.
For real?
Easy is the fun difficulty. Even Hades. Hades has a God mode. God mode gives you 20% more resistance, and every time you die, you get 2% more resistance towards your next run, right? Because it's a roguelike, so you keep dying over and over to progress. That's how the game works. And I don't shame myself for playing on easy. For me, that's the fun difficulty. Because if you play it on hard, you just die too much. You just make it harder on yourself. So why would you do that? Why not just have fun?
Yeah.
And that's also different for everyone. So yeah.
I at least try to stay with normal purely because I try to go with what the developer had in mind, I guess.
Yeah. About that, if you guys remember when Hellblade came out,
Oh, dude. Oh,
do
dear.
you remember when developers said if you die too many times, all your progress is going to be erased
Yeah,
and
but
you'll start all over again?
that's basically because the story is like that. It, it,
Yeah,
it says it says basically with a creep going up your arm in the game, like if you die too much, it just gets higher till it's in your brain or in your head. So it basically just a story, man. But actually, no one, like I think almost no one actually had that happen to him.
no,
So
because
it's really still forgiving. It's just
uh,
like a fear of going through it. Same with how they did the sound in that game. So
yeah,
I think it's something that people needed to fear, to actually feel the same as
actually
she does.
after 7 hours, I think the developer said that, oh, don't worry, it was just a joke we put in there, and this will never happen. Like if
Oh.
you die and just respawn. I
Oh,
can't
Gaz is
think
like,
of
I'm second
how many
thought.
people fear were just scared to don't die.
Yeah, it's people and dying in games, man. Why should you be scared of a game?
I don't know. It's just a game.
Yeah, overall.
You say that because you've not played the original Echo the Dolphin.
I want to see what the game.
I actually know what Echo the Dolphin is, which is hilarious.
Okay, Echo the Dolphin. Let's see what you were afraid of when you were a kid,
Yeah,
man.
please do. I'm
Oh,
on
Genesis. It's a Genesis game. Okay.
Make sure you get the crab level. That was the scary one. Frozen crab level.
The frozen crab level.
level.
Hmm.
It's 1 hour long. Hold on. Frozen crab level. I'm gonna see it real. Spikes and crabs and spikes death. Let's see.
Yeah, that's probably the one. I don't think this is going to be super interesting for many people, and I'm probably going to start crying if it is the one that I'm thinking of.
Even after the King's Quest 4 Siege.
I think this game is a little bit more interesting for me, basically, than just typing stuff and doing, like, by
Same.
basically having luck. I think those games were based on luck, man. Like finding the right comments to use. I, I, yeah,
What?
basically.
Echo. No, okay, so I was probably like 4 when this was happening. I don't know how old, but very young. But it did a fantastic job of building up tension by having this constant oxygen meter. So you always had this pressure of time, and yet it's this frozen level where just as you're swimming along all innocently, these crabs would just burst out of the ice. So you're properly on edge, and then suddenly there was a blue whale that was larger than the screen, and I nearly shit myself. So that is the scariest game I've ever played.
I'm looking. Oh yeah, this is what I. No, that's not ice.
And what was the scariest mission you ever played?
Oh no, it was that. It was the blue whale, and the blue whale, it turns out, was friendly. But
Ah, there we go. This is a frozen fun.
yeah.
That's one. This is it.
This is probably it. Yeah.
Yeah, I see
Oh,
crabs.
crap.
Holy shit! Oh, that's really holy.
Oh, jeez.
I can see this like scaring people like kids.
You know, the scariest mission I ever played was in GTA Vice City with that tiny helicopters.
Oh, with those helicopters in the house that you have to escape, right?
Yeah. No, when you had to destroy that construction site with tiny helicopters,
Okay.
you had to put bombs in 5 barrels, and while there were some people trying to shoot your helicopter and controls were inverted, I think.
Inverted. Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up. I mean, you can search it on Google, on YouTube if you want.
Hmm.
And see for yourself.
Yeah, I want to see it. This game is pretty scary. As a young person, you were playing this like, oh, happy dolphin game, and then suddenly you're like, ice, spikes, crabs. You're like, mama.
Actually, like teetering on the brink of death.
Yeah,
So
for
much
me,
tension for so long.
the first scary game for me that was just Resident Evil. I think I was 7 years old on the PlayStation 1, and I got that game for like Christmas or something, and my father was like, "Here you go, son, play this game." So I played it, and I was at night, just alone in the living room, lights off, playing this game, and he
Wow.
got into this house, and the cutscene I didn't even see it because I needed to go do something. I think I didn't see the cutscene like in the beginning, so I was just dropped into the house and I was running around. I opened the door and they have like the first zombie you see. That was so scary, and I just ran back and it got to me. It killed me and I shut off the game and I went to sleep. Try to.
Yeah, I can imagine your parents were in the next room, like, is this the right thing to do to deliberately scare him? And they're going, oh yeah, we're not having playing that Leisure Suit Larry anymore.
I did play Suit Larry back in the day, guys. I played it. I didn't even try the first one. Just I saw it on Retro Renegades. So no false things here. I didn't play it at the age of 5. No. I think that's not even possible.
Do you know this Echo clip that you're playing? The player has died about 4 times already, and it's awful. 5 times.
Wait, is it really every time you
Every
see
time
the
that message
screen you
comes up,
die?
That's death and start again. Yeah.
Oh my god. Does me thinking about my time in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the NES. Oh, that game was hard. But yeah, okay, let's go back to the other game then, Dishonored 2. That was an interesting game to watch. So yeah, that's very interesting, I would say.
Yeah, it was.
And when we go back to gaming, let's say like your favorite game, what you played so far, like this year.
This year.
Yeah. Because I'm not gonna count Cyberpunk into this, like your
No.
best game overall this year will be Cyberpunk probably. I think most people will crown that game to Game of the Year. So I'm not like doing that, so just until now. So it's two.
Let me think.
While you're thinking, let's go to Centurion first.
Yeah.
Centurion, what's your favorite game till now this year?
Oh man, I play so many games.
Mm.
What am I thinking of? Like a game that actually.
Or you can be multiple if you have like multiple you can
Well,
make it up.
I just finally started getting around to playing the Saints Row series.
Oh,
So
Saints Row! Wow.
I actually I just got done playing Saints Row 3, the remaster, which was actually pretty fun.
Yes, and then you haven't
Um,
played 4 yet. Oh.
no, I haven't played them. God, see ESO. Huh? Can you really count ESO?
If it's for you, if you played it and you enjoyed it so much, that is again your game of the year. Yeah, of course. For everyone, it's different. You have different criteria. So if that's your game of the year because you just enjoyed it that much more over all the other games, and that's the first game that comes into your mind, like you play the most and have the most fun in this year, I would
Now
consider
we
that
now
your game of the year.
are we counting now game of the year like 20? Well, game of the year so
2020.
far.
Yeah,
So does that
just
mean anything after January or before? Or would it basically count before January if it came out in November?
yeah, something like that. Just your game of the year that you can remember
Well,
this year.
the one that I really wish that was nominated for game of the year was Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
I was kind of disappointed they didn't uh, definitely didn't give it the dues that it did, even though the other one, what was the other one? Death Stranding made it in there.
Okay. Yeah,
I'm
Death
looking at what
Stranding
I
was an
played.
interesting one for sure.
Hmm.
I played too
Okay,
many games.
Asa?
Do you know, I really struggle to keep any definition of years in my head. So in my head, I've got
Just a game that you
yesterday.
think of.
Yeah, and I've got yesterday. I've got when I was a kid, and then everything in between is a blend. So I can't remember what was this year and what wasn't. But to go a little bit left field and say something I don't think anybody else will, I would say The Walking Dead: Saints and Sinners has been my favorite experience of the year.
Ah, still need to buy that game on PlayStation. I want to
It's
play it in
so fun
VR.
trying to. I tried to kill a zombie using a slipper and a book. It didn't work, but it was so fun.
I think it's so cool that you can grab zombies' heads and just fling them back.
Yeah, yeah. The way the
I
combat works
seen,
in it is so like. I did a
yeah.
bit of streaming on this one actually, but there's moments where I'm like, I see a zombie and just sprint at them and leap in the air to stab them in the head, and this stuff just works. It's great fun. I'm jumping in real life just to have fun with it, but it's such a good game.
Yeah, I had that happen.
Well, but I prefer the Walking Dead game. I think.
The game I had that happen with me, like I really get into with VR, basically because that's a VR game, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
For me that was I got my VR headset a couple of months ago, and the game I really get into, like I was running around basically my living room with my cord trying to not bump into stuff, was super hot. Like
Ah,
playing that game in VR is so much better. Holy shit! Like,
I think you need to play Resident Evil 7 in VR.
no, 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 no. I hate horror games. I I swear, I told this before. I only play a horror game on stream if someone donates me $100, and before that,
Where I
never.
can donate, wait.
If you do that, I will play it on VR, and I don't know how I'm gonna record it, but I will record it.
So here's a question: has anybody played Maneater?
No,
It's a short game,
No.
isn't it? No, I haven't.
I thought the game
The
would be in Game Pass, so I'm waiting.
Oh, everybody's waiting. See, I will say that was definitely a whim purchase, and I actually could not stop playing that game until I 100%ed it, and I actually did 100% it. It's kind of funny. The games I've played this year aren't really the great big ones that everybody's talking about. For me, I'd have to say Maneater was the big one. Journey to the Savage Planet would be another.
Yes, that's a
I've
good
actually
game.
kind of just been kind of dabbling a little bit here and there outside of the realm of AAA titles, and kind of pick and choosing some other ones, and I'm actually having a blast playing them.
Yeah, I want to say indie games is like a different market, but their games are so much more quality and so much more passion turned into it. For me personally, right? Indie games in a whole different ballpark. So I really love those games, like indie games. I like Hades. That roguelike has such a different story for me personally that I actually think it's my game of the year, except for Ghost. Like Ghost is just a little bit more above it, but Hades is my second game of the year.
Yeah. For me, so far, I think it's Ghost of Tsushima. I've been lost in that game. It's just so beautiful,
Hmm.
the amount of details. But I think stories were, story was pretty short. Like you had,
Short?
I don't know, we have like
How many hours
20
did you?
minutes,
Um,
20 missions, 20 main missions. I was
yeah,
talking about missions.
okay, but if you look at the game in general, do you think it's a short game?
No, it's, you have a lot of side quests.
Hmm.
Basically, the game keeps you going forward and try learn more about Tsushima, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's interesting. Hmm.
Yeah.
But it's one of the best AAA titles I have played. Um, I mean, that game has so much flavor,
Hmm.
and that game is so great. To like the combat system in that game is so good as well.
Yeah, I agree. And
Have
I
you?
don't know why some people said like it's pretty boring, the combat. I've seen people saying it's pretty repetitive, but
But
I
that's
really
because
like
they haven't enjoyed. They didn't play the game further until you got like everything unlocked. So
it. Yeah.
that game is so interesting. Like, Isa, did you try that game or
I've
Centurion?
not yet. I have a personal aversion to games that are stealth based. I hate stealth in games. And actually, I think you probably, I mean, you can probably tell me more so, but I think you can probably get through that game with a build that doesn't rely on stealth. So I do
Uh,
intend to get around it, but I don't care for
I
sneaking around.
I think in the beginning you really have to go stealth in that game because
You know,
Yeah.
in Dishonored it's the same. Like when you look at this gameplay, right? He's going in stealth. Stealth always takes so much longer to complete something in the game. Like in every game, I think it's like delaying the
Dishonored, you're
gameplay.
penalized for not playing stealthy.
which is another
No.
one that I skipped because I just don't appreciate
Well,
stealth.
well, I don't know about Dishonored 2, but in Dishonored 1, the point of not the point of staying stealthy and not killing everybody, the only way to truly go through the game without like killing anybody was to play stealth. Otherwise, the more you killed, the more the rat population got larger and larger, and you'd
Yeah, I
spread the
remember that.
disease.
That was an interesting mechanic.
You were actually kind of penalized for not playing stealthy in a small way.
Yeah, that's true,
Mm.
but there were different options to actually went to the game without
I
stealth.
played. I did play. Obviously, The Last of Us is fairly stealthy too, and I played The Last of Us Part Two. Don't worry, I'm not going to give you any spoilers. But there's like clips of that where I'm in a bit that's clearly intended for stealth, and I'll sneak through the long grass, approach someone from behind, and go, "I fucking hate stealth," and throw a brick at their head, and then just start shooting everyone. 'Cause it's just not my style. So
I'm
Ghost
Okay.
with
of
you on this.
Tsushima,
But I mean, like later on, when you're a little bit better at the game, I guess stealth is like less necessary. But overall, when you're in those progression games like this, Dishonored and like Ghost of Tsushima and other games like that, it's basically preferred to go stealth in the beginning because you're just so weak, um, and that's how you survive basically. That's how those games progress. Like in the beginning, you're like sneaky because you cannot do too much in the game yet, but after a while, you get so powerful that you actually don't need to go stealth anymore. And sometimes I just spoil myself with going too much stealth, like all the time. Like the whole game, basically, I go stealth. And then, let's say Assassin's Creed, right? That
Yeah,
game is so much more fun if you just go sword blazing into a fort after a while, like killing everyone without even caring. Because if you go stealth, you have to look at all the pushes. You have to go real slow. It really turns down the pace, and it makes the game a little bit more boring overall. Sometimes, for me.
I agree.
But yeah, this that's that. Ah,
Saying that particular game, I will get it. I will jump on it. I will play it, and I will find my way to break the stealth and play through as noisy as I can. And hopefully, have a good time.
Dishonored 2, you can actually do that. I haven't played Death of the Outsider yet, but that game should be better as well, like even more evolved. And now Deadloop being the next game. Oh my god, that game looks so interesting. It's basically like a puzzle game because what I've seen in the trailer so far of that game, Deadloop, is that he kills one like individual target of the 8 targets he needs to kill, and he then rewinds because he died. And what he then does, he basically makes it so he does something else that the first target goes to another target and they're actually together. So I think that game is gonna be interesting in that regard. Also, hey, graphic god. So yeah, I think it's gonna be very interesting with that game.
Yeah, I agree.
I think not enough people know about how the game's gonna work. I think I see between the things they're showing off. Oh well.
Jeez.
And are you guys getting both consoles? One console?
I'm getting both.
Both?
Both, yeah. Day
Okay.
one.
Yeah. And you most anticipate the title except for Cyberpunk?
Halo Infinite.
Halo Infinite. Okay, but that's
Oh,
next year.
and I've already told him that it's delayed.
Yeah, it's delayed, man. So this year, let's say for the end of the
Assassin's
year.
Creed Valhalla.
Valhalla, really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay, that's interesting.
I'm Assassin's Creed fan.
Yeah, me too. But they really went into like such a different genre. I don't feel Assassin's Creed is Assassin's Creed anymore. For me
Yeah, I
personally.
agree.
Uh,
With Origins, they started a complete new path, and it's like they can't go back anymore.
I want to say even before that, I think Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. I think that's where the no, even actually Assassin's Creed 3. That's where it went totally different.
Hmm.
Overboard. Because in that game you can actually kill everyone with one weapon. You don't even need to buy weapons. You could kill everyone with your tomahawk and just kill everyone after each other like bang 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 bang. It was so fun. That game was broken when it came
Yeah.
out. For you guys, what's your like Centurion? What's your most anticipated game this year, except for Cyberpunk?
Wow, that's actually a really good question when you take Cyberpunk out of the equation.
Of course,
Uh,
everyone wants Cyberpunk. I'm like
right.
the rebel. I want everyone to think outside of the box.
Well,
What's Cyberpunk?
Who's Cyberpunk?
Why is Cyberpunk?
I really
Uh,
wouldn't know outside of Cyberpunk. They're like, because that's like my most anticipated. If we're talking other titles, I haven't really seen anything concrete on some of the games I'm interested in when they're coming out.
Okay, so I can actually tell you because I've seen some release, also launch lineup. I'm going back to the lineup now. So
Now, are
basically,
we talking launch lineup, like for launch window, or are we talking within 2020?
no, so launch window. So this year, what's coming up? Okay. So this year, all the titles that have been confirmed and gonna be playable like this year. That's what I'm saying. Till the end of the year. So what you're thinking, because the uh, first of all, when you're thinking the first thing, PlayStation or Xbox?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm gonna try to get both of them.
Okay. And when you're looking at like let's say Miles Morales, Sackboy, Demon Souls,
Well, if I would say on the PlayStation side, without knowing when they're going to come out on top of my head, for me it was Ratchet and Clank. Obviously, Spider-Man looks like it's going to be a good game. It is going to be a good game.
for
But the
sure.
game, I'm more interested in Ratchet and Clank. I was always a big fan of that platformer. Um, with Xbox, obviously, there's Halo Infinite, but there's titles like The Medium and Scorn. Um, just really looking forward to a lot of the stuff that Xbox is putting out. But I would have to agree with the gentleman who did say Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I mean, I'm a huge fan of what they've been doing. So
Mhm.
um, I'm looking forward to the whole Viking thing. That's more towards my neck of the woods. So definitely wanting to see what they've cooked up. I'm also looking forward to see what the Series X can do because they have definitely made sure there's like little to no footage of that game running on the Series X anywhere.
They confirmed it's 4K 60 FPS.
Yeah, I'm actually waiting on the videos because they actually like Digital
I'm waiting
Foundry has
to test it.
gotten the Xbox, the real Xbox now, like a preview model, right? They can actually play the games on. Like
Yeah.
it's not the same Xbox as we're gonna get a launch, but it's basically almost the same.
There's another one. There's Bright Memory. Bright Memory is another one.
Yeah, but
Uh,
that's an old game. That's actually from the PC. That's the first one. Bright
right.
Memory Infinite
I
is the
don't.
new one. So
The funny part is for me is I don't really play on my PC. So for me on I
Neither.
work too much to play on my PC. So for me, if when it's on console, I never experienced ESO on the PC. I've played ESO and 100% on the console.
should I actually let you see what the game looks like on a PC right now?
If you want, that's all up to you.
Okay, because yeah, I mean, it's not bad to see the first 18 minutes of the game without some sound. So, but the game looks beautiful for me personally.
See, for me, it's like it's a new title. You know, we're hyping a title that's been kind of on PC. We're getting it finally on console.
Hmm.
And then down like further down below, Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition, and it's just like okay, well, definitely. I know that. See, oh, yeah. See, now they're even touting Fortnite as a Series X launch game, and that's where I kind of have to chuckle at that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like an update for that game to get ray
Right.
tracing and special shadows and stuff in that game. It's nothing special about that game. Like it looks almost the same. It's not gonna be so much of a difference if you're just shooting people and building some bridges and stuff. So and some
Why are they
planks.
telling Marvel's Avengers as a launch game? Are you kidding?
Because it's also an update. It's the
Oh, so
Series
they're gonna
X
have
update. So
enhancements.
the enhancements are also like a launch game. It's so funny. Like it's
See,
basically coming out on day
Xbox
one. So
I'm an Xbox fan, and I probably sound like a fraud right now, but
mhm.
I've been working like 50 some hour work weeks lately. I haven't even been able to have a chance to soak in too much. I'm like kind of shocked at this.
Does that actually matter?
I'm
Like,
I'm actually shocked that they're touting that, but
it's even more funny on the other side. Like, basically on the PlayStation side, right? They're saying Astro's Playroom, but that's like with every PlayStation 5 you're gonna get, right? And also
well,
Fortnite is on there as well.
I
Um,
won't argue. I mean, I won't mention names, but I recently had a great debate with somebody who basically insinuated, in their words, that all of 2021 is a launch window for PlayStation. So,
the problem is we don't know what the launch window is, and that's something that PlayStation had done before. Like they say it's coming out in launch window, or what did they say before? There was actually another word they used to actually make it different than it sounds, and that there's actually more speculation going on. I think it's because they want to keep being in the news, that they basically say it's if it's a launch window, people will keep talking about it.
It kind of keeps them out of the news when they don't want to be in the news for the wrong reason. So if Microsoft had said a launch window for Halo Infinite, they might not have had to say we're delaying it. They've been non-committal, so that if there is anything that kind of moves around,
Yeah, but
they don't. They've not told anybody any lies. They don't have to delay it. Nobody can complain. They're never
well,
committed to it coming
when
out.
somebody brought up the Halo Infinite delay in the debate, that's where I had to chuckle. I was like, but wait a minute, your logic said that all of 2021 is a launch window for PlayStation. So if we get to use your logic equally across all platforms, that makes Halo Infinite a launch title by your math.
Exactly that, but Sony's marketing have kind of taken his argument and used it in their favor, whereas Microsoft did commit to launch day.
okay, yeah, I can see that. Wow, looking at this gameplay, it looks so awesome. Oh my god.
Wow.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Sorry. Made by one guy, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, this is made by one developer. Even the second one. Um, so yeah, I want to say the marketing, like Xbox is transparent overall. Like they're so transparent with everything they're doing right now, and it gives them. I mean, because they're not the market leader. If they were the market leader, would be different in the media. But because they're not the market leader, I guess it's still like um, they're still getting the bad press because of it. You know, like if they were a market leader and they were really like, if it were PlayStation, they were like open book about everything they're doing, right?
There's a lot of people at the moment that are particularly like obviously in the Xbox camp looking at the bigger media outlets that have given quite inconsistent responses to things like exclusivity, and obviously
Yes.
like the Game on Daily website that we get loads of news coming in from loads and loads of different people, and we see a lot of different perspectives from smaller media outlets as well. And they generally like I'd encourage people to find ones that they like that are maybe a bit smaller, that you can see they aren't playing the same games.
Yeah, it's sad how the game media just spins it however they want to for clicks sometimes, or for basically setting the narrative how they want it to be set, and not how it is, or how it is, how. Yeah, basically we know what I mean. Just like they set the narrative how they want it to be set, or how they want to have clicks, basically.
Mm.
It's sad, and that's why I also started doing my show with clowns. So that's one of the reasons. But yeah, I feel like when you look at the launch lineup, for me personally, the most anticipated game, except for Cyberpunk, because that's also my most anticipated. But second is actually Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion looks so interesting to me because you can recruit everything. Like I want to have a granny army in that game. I just want to play with grannies. I think it's not gonna be possible because of all the different skills you can have in the game if you recruit different people, but I just want to see if it can be possible at all. That would be so awesome, really. Yeah. And Itza, what's your favorite game you're gonna
Specifically for the next gen consoles, good question. I'm definitely going to play Spider-Man. So I've been intending. I played through Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4 before I started really streaming things, and I've been intending to do a complete playthrough of Spider-Man at some point.
Okay.
Now that they are doing this controversial, I know, remaster that you have to pay for, I am going to play that before I play Miles Morales. I'll get through those on the PlayStation. On the Xbox side, it's a bit harder to think of appealing launch titles, if I'm being honest. So I'm getting the Series X day one. It's pre-ordered and it will arrive, but I don't actually know what I'm going to do with it. Good question. Good question. I'm sure I'll find something that I fancy playing. They're obviously enhancing a lot of their older games, so I could tuck into some of those. But really, when you get a new console, you want something new to shove in there and show it off. I don't know what that game's going to be yet.
Are you gonna play older titles first, maybe?
No, I won't. I will find something that really pushes it a little bit, shows what it can do for me. So I've also got, just to complicate matters further, the HP Reverb VR headset
Yes.
coming as well, and they just decided over the last week or so that that's also coming early November. So that I've had pre-ordered for a while, and I was expecting it in first September and then October, but they've now confirmed it's going to be delivered early November. So I'm going to have a real fight for my time with that one, because I'm going to want to do some real testing on that, because it looks like a fantastic headset. So I want to go back to the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners and Half-Life Alyx and things like that. It's going to be difficult to find the time on the Xbox. I do want to play The Ascent on the Xbox, which is not a huge game, I don't think.
The Ascent.
But I've not played an isometric looting game for a while, so I quite fancy The Ascent.
The Ascent. I have to look that game up again because I don't know what it's. It's the cyberpunk based one, right?
It's kind of it's a Diablo-like game with a more cyberpunk setting. I don't know if it'll be any good or not, but I hope it turns out to be something.
Yes, it looks very interesting. Hold on, I got some. I have some gameplay here. Then gonna show off. That's why I love my non-scripted stuff. I can just show off gameplay of games that I love and stuff. Thanks to IGN, I got some gameplay now. Thanks.
You say thanks to IGN. I don't think IGN have anything to do with it, except they downloaded the trailer and stuck their watermark on it. But
really?
That's what they do.
Stupid.
Okay. You know, because every week I put together these. And this is a personal grievance that I don't know. I'm hoping it doesn't get me in any trouble. But every week I put these TLDR videos together, summarizing like big news stories, and they take a lot of trailer footage and things like that. And it annoys the hell out of me when I download like an official trailer, stick it into the editing software. I'm having a look at it, and there's this stupid IGN watermark there. They've not done anything. I don't know what they're taking credit for. They download a trailer from an official channel, stick their watermark on it, and re-upload it.
Hey man,
it's infuriating.
If they get the money of it with the views, because this has 363,000 views. I mean, they basically have a successful model here. So
they do, but it's such a
annoying.
Smelly, like it's a slimy model compared to all these other content creators, and we set up our website and our platform to support people in a really positive way. And this kind of stuff just infuriates me. It's personal grievance. So seeing that little watermark there is just like, it's bringing back pain.
Hold on, I'll make it easy for you.
You don't need to change it. It's fine.
No, I'll make it easy. Look, I can do this.
Yeah, but I don't think that would hold up for the videos that we put together. But yeah,
you can basically like make it go down a little, and then do something on the top differently.
Smart way.
Hey, you have to circumvent it around it if you really want to be inventive. Also, about being inventive, I got something new cooking up to go my channel in a few weeks probably. I'm working something out with clowns, because when you think about me, right? I'm putting a lot of work into his channel at the moment. Because yeah, with the streaming stuff and that we started and stuff, but I'm actually neglecting my own channel a little bit. I don't want that to happen because that's a little bit of a trade-off I have at the moment. Like, and I'm trying to do something on my channel as well to get more viewers as well, of course, and getting yeah a little bit more known, I would say as well. Like if I just abandon my channel and go on his, I feel like I'm letting down my own community, I would say,
Yeah.
for my own, and uh, I'm just trying to do something interesting that I think a lot of people will like. But I'm just teasing here. I'm not gonna explain anything.
Okay, I'm going to DM you after the show and you'll tell me everything.
No. Maybe for $100. No, just kidding. Just kidding, guys.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, yeah, basically like you still up for doing some more or does everyone has a fill?
Oh, to be honest, I could probably use dropping off at this point. If that is okay. It's been a good 2 hours. That's
Yeah,
probably.
that's why I'm asking. Like it's been two
Yeah.
hours. Some
Yeah, it's like
people
I
don't
also
like.
have TXR here in 2 hours.
Okay, cool. Yeah, we can go a little bit longer if the rest wants to, but if you need to go, Asa, you can go. It doesn't matter. Like, I've had a conversation with one person like for half an hour after the other person left.
I was
So,
I was gonna run a few errands in those 2 hours, so
oh yeah, if you want to go as well, Centurion,
yeah.
then I guess we can just end the show. So, I want to say thank you all for watching. First of all, Centurion, I want to say thank you for coming, and where can we find you?
Well, I want to thank you for letting me be here, man. It was great to actually just to talk games and not just kind of like you always kind of talk about the same old stuff. So, for those
Mhm.
interested, you could find me on YouTube, Twitter, and Xbox Live at Centurion1307. I also do the Shop podcast with PTK Blam and the crew on Saturdays. And I also do the TXR podcast with Invader and the rest of the guys over there every Sunday night as well.
Okay, cool. Um, yeah, that's why I do this show. So it's something that I find very interesting, just talking about stuff and just the silliest conversations come up. But it makes it so refreshing every time you watch and not just be like the news again from another channel and
yeah,
again and
it's
again.
like it's nothing script.
Yeah, that's what I love about this. So also, Asa, where can we find you?
Yeah, so Game On Daily obviously is the website and the YouTube channel. There's actually some really good content we put up on the YouTube channel recently, so hopefully, yeah, give that a little look. And me personally, I'm Acer_Game On Daily just about everywhere. So PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, all over the place. Nice and easy to find. And yeah, thank you for having me on. It's been a nice, relaxed chat.
Yeah, uh, thanks for saying that as well. Like, I always get a comment at the end of every show. Like, it's so different. It's so refreshing. I think I didn't steal it from Retro Renegades because they basically would do the same thing over there, but I basically like almost copied it without knowing. Like after a while, the flow just went over there. I guess I just like it that way. I'm sorry, Graphic God. Also, yeah, and we can't forget our Marian, of course. So Marian, tell me,
Yeah, that's me.
yeah, yeah, where can we find you, buddy?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at xmarian245x and on Xbox at MarianTheMad.
hmm Okay, I got the last question for everyone in the panel and as well on the chat. How do you think Marian did for his first time? For me, it was all
Yeah,
right. So
totally the same.
tell me.
I've not come away offended, so that's good enough for me. Yeah,
Right. Good
hopefully
fine.
everybody's had a good time.
See, you're getting approved, Marian. So yeah.
Appreciate it. It
So
was really nice to be here with you guys.
mhm. Okay. So, guys, I want to say all thanks for watching. Until next time, next week, of course. I don't know who we're gonna gonna get on the show yet, so that's gonna be revealed later. And as always, I will say at the end of my show, be happy and be positive. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right.